All right, let's talk about what happens when you take a philosophy for perfection that's been around for a century and you smash it together with the most powerful tool of our time. This is the story of how lean thinking is getting a serious AI upgrade. And believe me, it's changing just about everything we thought we knew about being efficient.
But first, let me ask you something. What if you could get rid of pretty much all the waste from any process? And I'm not just talking about scrap metal on a factory floor. Think bigger. I'm talking about the wasted minutes on a frustrating customer service call, the wasted clicks in your own day-to-day work, even the wasted fuel in a global supply chain. That's the incredible promise we're digging into today. To really get this, you gotta meet the two main characters in our story. On one side, you've got lean thinking. For decades, this has been the playbook, right? The philosophy for ruthlessly hunting down waste and boosting value. And on the other side, you've got artificial intelligence. AI isn't a philosophy, it's a super tool. It's the engine. So the real question becomes, what happens when this powerful philosophy finally gets the powerful tool it deserves? So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to wrap our heads around the big idea. What exactly is Lean 4.0? Then, we'll see how this is moving way beyond the factory floor to completely reinvent the customer experience. After that, we're diving deep into a real-world AI-powered factory to see how it all works. And then we'll zoom in even closer, right down to the microscopic level. And finally, we'll pull all the way back out to look at the biggest challenges that lie ahead. Okay, let's jump right in. Section 1, Lean Thinking Gets an Upgrade. So what does it really mean when these two giants, Lean and AI, finally team up? Well, the fancy term for it is Lean 4.0, and it's basically this mashup of classic Lean principles with all the modern tech from Industry 4.0. Sensors, cloud computing, the whole shebang. But here's the catch. All that tech just creates a tidal wave of data. AI is the secret sauce. It's the brain that can actually look at all that noise and find the hidden patterns, turning a mess of information into real, actionable insights. Which brings us right to our next point, Section 2, the quest for Lean CX. Because, you see, this is so much bigger than just building widgets faster in a factory. It's about applying that same relentless obsession with efficiency to the entire customer experience. And check this out. This quote says it all. It shows you just how new this territory is. When researchers first started digging into lean customer experience, they were, well, confused. There were no clear definitions out there. It's a classic sign that the pioneers are already out there building the future before the academics have even had a chance to draw the map. So, let's clear up the confusion. Lean Customer Experience Management, or Lean CEM for short, is all about taking that no-waste mindset and applying it to the customer's entire journey, from the very first inkling of a need all the way to their final satisfaction. And here's the crucial mind-bending shift. You're not just focused on eliminating your own waste anymore, you're focused on eliminating the customer's wasted time and wasted effort. And it all boils down to these 5 core principles. They're just reframed for the customer. First, specify value, meaning what does the customer actually care about, not what you think they care about. Second, identify the value stream. You map out every single step, every touch point. Third and fourth are about flow and pull. This is all about making the journey seamless and letting real customer demand, not your internal targets, drive everything. And last but not least, number 5, seek perfection. It's a race with no finish line. All right, so that's the theory. But what does this look like when the rubber hits the road? Let's find out. We're heading into Section 3, inside the AI-powered factory. Our story takes us to Norway, to an ice cream company called Henny Olsen. Now, these guys had been using lean principles for years, but their progress had flatlined. They'd hit a wall. So to break through it, they turned to AI, hoping it could finally help them perfect their entire process, from the factory line all the way to the final scoop. And this chart, wow, this chart just lays their problem bare. It's a measure of something called overall equipment effectiveness, or OEE. Just think of it like a report card for your factory's performance. That dotted line up top, that's the goal, the A+. And this jagged blue line down here, that was reality. You can literally see the gap, the painful difference between where they wanted to be and where they actually were, week after week. Over 4 years, all those unexpected faults and little stops on their production lines cost them this much time, 126,500 minutes. Let that sink in. That's 21 entire days of production just gone, vanished into thin air. Now here's where it gets really interesting. When they dug into that downtime, they found that most of it was predictable stuff, like scheduled cleaning. But this 14% slice over here, that was the killer. These were the sudden, unpredictable failures that grind everything to a halt. You can't schedule for them, you can't plan for them, but you can predict them. And that is a perfect job for AI.
And the wins weren't just internal. In 2019, they pointed an AI vision system at the production line, basically a smart camera, to spot packaging errors. The result? Look at this chart. A massive drop in customer complaints. It was direct proof that an AI on the factory floor could make a customer hundreds of miles away a lot happier. So AI can watch the machines, it can watch the products, but what if it could watch the process itself, right down to the level of a single human hand? That brings us to Section 4, AI's all-seeing eye. For over a century, the way you studied manual work was with a manager and a stopwatch. But that method is just full of flaws. It's incredibly time-consuming. It's completely subjective. And maybe worst of all, the simple act of being watched makes people work differently. You're never capturing a true picture of the real process. Now look at the new way. Instead of a person with a stopwatch, you have an AI that can track 21 key points on a worker's hand. It never gets tired and never looks away, and it's totally objective. It captures every tiny motion, turning what used to be guesswork into precise, quantifiable data.
And this is the game changer. For the first time, we can truly see the invisible waste of inefficient motion, those tiny, awkward movements that add up to fatigue and mistakes. This isn't just about speed, it's about redesigning the work itself to be smoother, safer, and fundamentally less wasteful for the person doing it.
Now, this all sounds amazing, right? But the technology is only half the story. And that brings us to our final section, Section 5, the future, people, and pitfalls. So what goes wrong? The research points to 3 main traps. First, sub-optimization. That's when you focus on making one tiny piece of the puzzle super efficient, but you accidentally break the whole system somewhere else. Second is a classic mistake, digitizing a bad process. All you end up with is a much faster way to fail. And the third, and maybe the biggest pitfall of all, when top management just isn't truly bought in. Because success isn't about the algorithm, it's about the people. Hennig Olsen learned this the hard way. Their new AI system was brilliant, but employees found it so frustrating they just turned it off. It was a powerful lesson. You can have the best tech in the world, but if you don't bring your people along with training and clear communication, it's worthless. This isn't a tech project, it's a culture project. And that leaves us with the final thought. AI is becoming unbelievably good at finding the flaws, the waste, and the inefficiencies in any system you point at it. It holds up this perfect, data-driven mirror to our processes. The real question, the real challenge, isn't technological. It's human. Are we building the organizations, the cultures, and the skills we need to actually act on what that mirror shows us?